And it looks like we are live. Okay, great. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Hopefully everybody's doing all right. This is kind of an impromptu Q&A, so pretty excited about that. Yeah, so I've got a couple questions that people have asked, and I'm going to get to those. I also want to really concentrate on the chat tonight as well. Probably just be here for about 40 minutes or so. Nothing too big. So yeah, I'm just going to wait for a few people to jump on in and make sure I'm not just here by myself. Make sure that other people are hanging out. So, Teresa, blue is the best color. I fully agree. Yeah, I love blue. It's actually my favorite color. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, want me to discuss anything, now is your chance to ask that. Hopefully the stream will be nice. I know that it's not going to be the best quality, but we're going to do our best. So, hello Marcelo. Let me know if there's the quality is okay and we're all doing well. Hopefully it is. Yeah, and hopefully everybody's having a good evening. Yeah. Heyo, hello from Scott. So, again, I'm just going to make sure that everything is everything, as I always like to say. I just want to make sure that all is well. This is a Q&A, so just be sure to put in those questions if you have any. I want to make sure that the audio and whatnot, it's all good. So, yeah, hopefully everybody's having a good evening. And I'll just kind of wait for some questions for this Q&A. It's not looking great at the moment. Let's just having a quick look-see at the strength of this signal. I want to make sure that it's good and that it's... Let's just see how it is. Okay. I mean, that might be an issue, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, right? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week. Yeah, it looks like it's okay. I think the picture is gonna not be so great. I think you're gonna get a lot of choppy pictures, but hopefully the audio should still be all right. As you can tell, I'm not in my usual setup. This is actually my partner's place. So, yeah. Let's see here. Oh, Scott has a fantastic... Actually, before I get to Scott... yeah, Anazi. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not streaming from my usual location, so it's like 1 frame per second. I'm so sorry. That's just kind of how it is at the moment. The internet here isn't the best. As long as you can hear me, that's going to be the main key. So if you can hear me, then all is well. Yeah, so let me know and let me know if the audio is coming through properly, because I don't mind having a choppy visual as long as there's a nice crisp audio. So yeah, and this actually might help because I'm going to thank my patrons. I've got a few new ones, and I'm actually going to be shouting them out separately as well in some future ones. But I wanted to put their names straight up, right front and center. Grace, Robert, Brett, and I believe it's pronounced Didier. I've recently kind of fallen onto hard times. I have recently lost my job, so that's been fun. And I reached out to Twitter just saying, hey, if anybody wants to support me on Patreon, now would be a really, really great time to do so, because I do not have a steady form of income at the moment. So yeah, I need to kind of subsidize that as much as I can for the next couple of weeks until I can find myself a new job. But Brent, Grace, Robert, and Didier stepped up, and they donated pretty much immediately once they found out about that. So I wanted to give them a really, really big shout out, and thank you guys. That really, really means the world to me. I mean, it's, in comparison to other YouTubers, it's like a drop in the pan, but for me, it was astronomical. So thank you. If you guys want to do the same, I've left the Patreon there as well. Oh, good. Looks like the audio is good. Okay, good. That was my main concern. As long as the audio is good, I don't mind having 1 frame per second. That's kind of a secondary thought. I mean, my first 2 or 3 live streams, there was no visuals at all. It was just an audio. So maybe I'll just leave this up here during the entire time so that you don't get me being all choppy. So yeah, there's I can see Grace got her eyes up there, so I wanted to give everybody a big shout out. But I will be also shouting out everybody individually on their own little live stream or Q&A. So I wanted to thank everybody for that. And I want to thank everybody that has donated up to this point, like Matthew, Aiden, Andreas, Isaac, Spinobi, Anthony, Rick, Kevin, Ted, Bryson, Hemulin, Chris H, Joggin Chum, GRV, Rush 2112, Joseph, Charles, Brian, Mark, Brian, Jeffrey, Axel, Joseph, Travis, Kelvin, Tomas, Mark, T-Dog, Austin, Depanjan, which I've recently been told it is Depanjan, with like a hard J. Apologies about that. And Tomas. So I want to thank everybody for doing that. Really, really does mean a lot. So yeah, let's get into some Q&As, because that's why we're here. We're here for some Q&As. Let's see here. I've had some great questions. I'm going to start with Scott's question, because Scott said, what album should I listen to first by the Flower Kings? I've been meaning to get into them for a while. Scott, my suggestion, if you want to get the full scope of what the Flower Kings are, Unfold the Future was the one that I was introduced to the band with. And I feel like that's a really good representation of what they're all about. Another one that I would also recommend that's solid all the way through is probably Adam and Eve. That's a little bit shorter. There's only 2 super long tracks off of that one. And yeah, I think those 2. I mean, those aren't my favorites. My all-time favorite one is The Sum of No Evil, but I don't know if I would start there. Because that one's more of like a one-off album from them more than anything else. I really think that if you started with Unfold the Future and then go to Adam and Eve, I think that would be a really good starting point. Other people have also mentioned, what's the one? Stardust We Are is another one from them that's really good. So I would also probably suggest that one. Happy diving into Flower Kings, though, because that's a really good one. Can I name any underrated albums by prog bands? Yeah, I mean, every other Masterpiece Theater that I've done have been from underrated prog albums that I think people need to check out. Now, those underrated are more in the fact of like lesser known ones, like people don't really talk about them all that much. And we're looking at the Gathering Light from Karnataka. We're looking at No One's Words from Efrat. We're looking at what's another one that I particularly love? There's a few from a band called Kappa that I really particularly love. The one that I love is In the Wake of Evolution, but Notes from the Past is also really good as well. Yeah. Where do you think Distance Over Time would generally be on the Dream Theater ranking? That's a really good question. Oh, it looks like it's... There we go. Okay, it's a really bad stream, guys. I'll work on it because I have another one coming up on Saturday. So I'll work to see if I can get it a little bit boosted. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, it's not going great. But this is why I'm doing a quick Q&A. Okay, so where do I think Distance Over Time would generally be on a Dream Theater ranking? Hopefully this is going to come through. I'm really hoping it will be. Yeah. Well, now it's green. So that's good. But now it's red. I'm wondering what I can do to... Let's see here. Well, currently offline. Well, it's saying that I'm still good. I know, guys, this isn't so good. But we'll keep it going, hopefully. Just let me know in the chat how things are going, because I really hope it's going well. So yeah, those are some really good underrated albums from prog bands. And where do I think Distance Over Time would generally be on my Dream Theater? You know what? I'm wondering if I'm just going to stop the video capture. Let's just try that. Let's see. There we go. Okay. We're just going to keep that up. We're going to see if that works. Maybe if it's not video capturing, maybe it will be a little bit better. But now it's saying that it's not streaming at all. Hopefully that will work. Yeah, I know I'm rambling about here. It's been a very difficult time. Where do I think Distance Over Time would generally be on my Dream Theater ranking? It would probably be just above Falling Into Infinity. That's probably where I would rank it, if I'm being perfectly honest. Yeah, I think it's a little bit stronger than Falling Into Infinity, but I can't remember what I put over that. I wonder if I even have that saved somewhere. So I know I have it saved somewhere. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what I put there. What did I put after Falling Into Infinity? Yeah, I don't have that saved, unfortunately. I think I deleted it. So yeah. That's what I would put there. Let's see here. Recently started to listen to King Crimson's discography, and I'm wondering which album is your favorite and least favorite from their catalog. Well, I recently did a worst to best on their music. So if you wanted to go find that answer, that's in my worst to best. I believe I put Beat as being my least favorite, and In the Court of the Crimson King is my favorite. But one that comes very close is Islands. I really, really love Islands. Yeah, what was your job? Yeah, I think I'm going to keep that to my chest. I'm not really quite ready to talk about that one quite yet. I do not sew my own clothes, no. I wish I did, because I'd make some pretty badass clothes, but yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Hopefully people are still chatting away. Like, I really hope that the strength isn't all that bad. Just gonna double check to make sure that it's still streaming on my phone here. Because, yeah, I mean, I hope to stay up here for a little bit, and I don't want to have to head back home just because okay, so at least it looks like I'm still there. Ooh, Grace, that's a fantastic question. What's my favorite way to eat eggs? Any way that I can eat them with toast. I know that's a really weird way of saying that, but yeah, any way that I can eat them with toast, because generally I'll put the eggs on top of the toast, and then I'll wolf them down. So I have, like, Over Easy is a one that I love. I used to call them Sunny Side Down. I also love a good poached egg, honestly. Also, depending on what kind of things you put in it, a good omelet is also really good. But yeah, generally as long as it's got toast. There was a place called the Georgian Diner, or the George Street Diner, down in Toronto, that used to make the best soda bread, and having eggs on that thing was just the best. So yeah. Scott's asking if I'm a fan of Tragically Hip. Now, as a Canadian, generally I have to say yes, but I'm not really a big fan of theirs. Like, I think I'm only a fan of maybe one or two of their songs. Like, I really like New Orleans is Sinking, and I really like Wheat Kings. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of theirs. I don't know if they really have enough range that I crave. And some of their songs I do not connect with, like Music at Work, I never really enjoyed. I'm much more of a fan of like Bare Naked Ladies. And like less of their poppy stuff and more of their heartfelt stuff when Steve Page was still with them. I thought that was really, really good. I should listen to more King Crimson live albums. Yeah, I mean, they do some amazing live stuff. I think they're putting out like a live album every other year or something at this point. So it wouldn't be hard to get into. This is from Crawford. What would you say are the 3 peak years of modern prog? 2018 was stellar. And I was talking with my partner earlier today about how solid 2018 was for music that year, for prog, modern prog specifically. I think that was a standout year. 2013 as well, because that's where we got Spock's Spirit album of Brief Nocturnes and Sleepless Incidents, and Stephen Wilson's album of The Raven That Refused to Sing. And then I would also say probably 2008, either 2007 or 2008, because I feel like that year, that's where neo-prog had this really big zeitgeist switch from the big theatrical melodramatic movement to this very dark and heavy movement. And I think that was really fun. I would also probably say 2001, because that year we had standout albums from Opeth, from Dream Theater, from Tool. I think even Peter Gabriel put out an album that year, and that was great. Grace likes to eat eggs raw. All the power to you, Grace. I'm not sure that's the healthiest way to do it, because I think you need to break down those enzymes a little bit more. But if you can do it, all for you. Like, go for it. I think that's great. What's my favorite book from Marcelo? Marcelo, my favorite book, I always kind of say, is Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Zafran. Yeah, I think I can't remember if that's his first name. His last name was Zafran. Beautiful, beautiful book. It takes place in Barcelona in like the 40s or 50s. Brilliant. And it is a series now. Like, I think there's 4 books in the series. I've read the subsequent 2 books, The Angel's Game and The Prisoner of Heaven. They have a 4th book, but I haven't got my hands on that yet. So yeah, that's pretty good. Any new metal you like? I used to like new metal when it first came out. I had Alien Ant Farm's CD. I think I listened to it twice because I really just liked Smooth Criminal. I don't know if you would qualify Limp Bizkit in that, but I used to love Limp Bizkit when I was a kid. Korn from time to time. I don't know if you would qualify... Like it's interesting because I like the bands that surrounded the new metal movement but weren't actually associated with them, Queens of the Stone Age or System of a Down or Tool or Mars Volta. They were kind of hovering at least around that same period, but like other bands like Linkin Park or some of those other new metal that I'm not a big fan of those, but yeah. Do I like any video game soundtracks from Teresa? I do. Video game soundtracks are actually the best soundtracks to work or study with, because they're made to focus you in. I usually go for like classic Final Fantasy stuff, and I say classic like, Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy 12. I will also just listen to loops from like Mario, from like Mario 64. I think that provides such a great focus in soundtrack. I've been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild right now, so I'm just kind of dialed into that soundtrack as well. Hey, Serbian, hope you're having a good night. Let's see here. Bruno's saying you should listen to more Brazilian music. I really should. I have not heard of I have heard of a metal band called Bad Salad. I haven't listened to any of their stuff, but I have heard of them. So, yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. And Marcelo was also talking about 2018 being a great year for music in general. So many great albums came out that year. It was generally a year in that electronic album that was my top 10. I don't even like electronic. Yeah, 2018 was such a great year for music in general. I'm really hoping that we get another year like that. And yeah, let's show some love for the Brazilian music out there. Have I ever heard of Khan? It's a Canterbury scene. See, I'm still trying to dip my toes into the Canterbury. I haven't really solidified that quite yet. Doing my best, getting in there as much as I can, but I haven't really gotten in there as much as I would like to. So yeah. And I am going to actually circle back to Teresa's comment about the video game soundtracks, because I actually have the Earthworm Jim soundtrack on record because it's so much fun. And let's see here. Serbian is asking if I wanted to give some people who've been away or who have been a while in the Discord server mediator roles. Oh, I never really thought about that. If that's something that you want to take on, go for it. I just kind of like open it up and just let people go. I'm not really a big user of Discord. But yeah, I think if that's going to help rejuvenate it a little bit, because I honestly haven't even dipped my toe back into that since the new year. So yeah. Teresa's saying that I put dramatic turn of events above. Yeah, so that would actually be a really good. I liked going back to Dream Theater and where I put Distance Over Time. Yeah, I feel like Distance Over Time is right between Falling into Infinity and Dramatic Turn of Events. Because I still think like there are moments off Dramatic Turn of Events that I can still vividly recall and really, really enjoy listening to. Like Bridges in the Sky still stand out to me. And On the Back of Angel. No, that's that's Images and Words. What's the one from? It sounds exactly like On the Back of Angels. No, I think it is On the Back of Angels. Anyway, yeah, I think that's a perfect place for it. Oh, it's been really great discussing music, but there's occasionally disruptive elements. Yeah, I think we could probably get some mediators in there. So, yeah, Serbian, if you are a heavy user of that, reach out, shoot me an email. I have that down below, and I can see what I can do for that. Scott is here with an unpopular opinion. Morning Rise and Orchid are two of the best Opeth albums. Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. They are definitely raw. And Morning Rise has that Goliath of a track of The Rose Eternal. I know that there's another word in there. I think it's like a 3-word track song. But it is definitely much more of like a raw death metal rather than like straight up progressive metal. Not my flavor of tea, but I can appreciate and I understand why people love it so much. Just not quite for me. But I can still appreciate and see where you're coming from there. And William, hello. William, did I put your name on there? Because I know I didn't. Okay, I'll have to change that for next time. I'm so sorry, William. Because William has also donated. So I'm calling out William right now as another donator for me. For some reason, you didn't catch in my updated Patreon list that I was using. I'm just going to double check to make sure that I've still got you on there. I want to make sure, because that would not be good if I missed your name. So I will rectify that next time for sure. Because I want to make sure. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, you donated on Monday. I'm very excited to actually dig into the album that you sent me. Normally I don't listen to, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't live stream fans' music, but I'm going to make an exception. But I will change that for Saturday because I am thinking about doing a Saturday live stream. Hopefully I'll have my webcam back up and running at optimal rates. We'll just have to figure that out together. That's all. Marcelo, being a Brazilian myself, here are some Brazilian bands y'all should notice. Yeah, so check these guys out. Dark Avenger, Dr. Sin. Oh boy, I'm going to have fun pronouncing this one. Ecleptica? Ecleptica. I think I nailed that one. Armada. Oh boy. Armored Dawn and Norturly. Boy, that's oof. Yeah, there you go. Teresa is asking, don't know if you have made a video on them, but what are your thoughts on the Aristocrats? I thought I did. I thought I did one of their videos, like their last album they put out. They're fine. I feel like they kind of fall in that same kind of like pool that a lot of those type of prog do, like the instrumental kind of proggy pieces. They're fun. They're fun. Not my favorite, but yeah. Oh, I didn't realize. Grace is saying that Portnoy toured with, is it Noturnal? Yeah. Bruno is asking, do I play any musical instruments? Not really. I was trying to learn about a year ago how to play the ukulele. So I know about 4 or 5 chords on the ukulele, and I was trying to get myself good enough that I could play and sing at the same time, but I never did. I know only about 3 songs, 2 Taylor Swift's and a Genesis song. And I was learning Can't Help But Fall in Love with You from Elvis Presley. So I think I was getting pretty good on that one as well. But that's about it. William is saying I should listen to this. Oh, sorry. He's trying to listen to this and set up a snail enclosure. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. You'll have to let us know how that goes. I love those kind of environmental enclosures. I think that's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Yeah, it looks like we're really fluctuating. I'm going to see what I can do about that because I really want I want to get a really good signal for future live streams. Like I said, I have one on Saturday, and I'm sure there's going to be a way that I can boost it. If not, we'll just have to resort to this until I can find a better plan. A more general question. That's great. JC, have I ever, if you haven't yet, considered jumping into avant-garde progressive rock with bands like Universe Zero, Present, Magma? Now, I know Magma is a part of the Zool subgenre, and I've listened to 1 or 2 of their albums. It's a little much for me, but that is never an excuse not to listen to more. So if you can recommend me a good starting point for some good avant-garde, like I am not adverse, and I think that they can actually do some really, really good stuff. Because I mean, the only avant-garde stuff that I really listen to aren't really all that avant-garde-y, if you know what I mean. Like what? Yeah. So if you send me some suggestions, I will definitely get on that. But I would like to kind of jump into that because I feel like avant-garde, the Italian side of the progressive rock scene that was really big, and Canterbury scene are the 2 that I need to spend a little bit more time with. I don't feel like I spend enough time with those guys. Yeah. Just want to make sure that it's playing. Come on. Play for me. Play for me my music. Because I can't just sit here by myself without music. I need some music. Come on. I mean, I'll do this if I have to. I'll restart the device. Thoughts on black metal? Yeah, I like it. Now, I usually like more of the droning black metal than more of the heavy stuff. The ones that I really like are like Bell Witch and Sleep. Those tend to be really good. I also really like Sun O. But again, I feel like those are more drone metal than like black metal. anything with like a really good build up. I'm not sure why this isn't playing anymore. Maybe if I turn off my speaker and then I play it. Will it play now? Why aren't you playing? This is so weird. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to... It's not that I need music, but it really helps me concentrate. And on a day like today, that's... I don't know why it's not playing. Oh, there we go. Alright, so let's... There we go. Caravan can be very good. Yes, I've heard Caravan is really good. Yeah. So I hear like Caravan's kind of like the go-to for Canterbury. I think I've listened to one of their albums, but I wouldn't be able to tell you which one. So yeah. Should I message you on Discord to set that up? Yes, please, Serbian. I think that would be fantastic. That would be really good. Michael is asking thoughts on Muse. I love Muse. Muse is one of my favorite bands. Yeah, I'll say that. I've seen them 3 or 4 times play live. I saw them when they were touring their Second Law album, when they were touring their Drones album, and when they were touring their latest one, Simulation Theory. I mean, obviously, I love their 3 albums, like Origins of Symmetry. I love Absolution. Absolution actually might be my favorite. It kind of goes back and forth between Absolution and Origins of Symmetry. And even though Black Holes and Butterflies, I think that's the album. It's a little poppy in some spots. I still love that one. I also really love The Resistance, even though it gets a bad rap. I think that there's still some stellar experimental pieces on there. And that Exogenesis Symphony that closes the album off might be one of their best works that they've ever done. I like the fact that kind of later on in their career, at least with Drones, they kind of went back to basics. Because as much as I love the Second Law, and I do love the Second Law, I feel like they got bogged down with experimentation and making the sounds grand. So I appreciate the fact that with Drones, they've scaled it back down. As much as I love Simulation Theory, which I do love Simulation Theory, I felt like they went back to that experimentation side of things, and I don't know if it quite worked out to their advantage. And Travis, don't worry, we're still here for like another half hour, so don't worry about it. You're here now. That's the important part. If you've never heard of The Land of the Great and Pink, it's very essential. Okay, Grace, I will check that one out. I will definitely check that one out. Sort of a jazz prog fusion. Really cool sounds. I like it. Michael from Opeth cited Caravan as one of his big influences in the Book of Opeth biography about the band. Okay. Well, you sold me. I'll check that one out. I'll add it to my queue. Deep Cuts will be releasing a 5 albums to get you into Canterbury within a few months or so. Oh, good, because I love Deep Cuts. I think they did some really, really good stuff. Oh, yeah, Michael, I can continue to talk about Muse for days. Like, it's one of my dad's favorite bands, and I love Muse, so I will talk your ear off about Muse. So the reasoning behind no video is I'm currently at my partner's house, and her internet isn't the best. So I started off the stream with a video, and it was too much for the server to handle. So I'm doing away with the video just for the audio. So yeah. Did you hear that the Haken album is not coming out tomorrow and is instead being delayed for another month? I did not. That sucks so bad because I was really looking forward to that. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that sucks. That really sucks. Crap. All right. Well, hopefully, I'd rather have a polished, completed, finished item that's delayed rather than a rushed, unfinished project that's delivered on time. So yeah. And Emmanuel, I'm so sorry. I don't know what that means. I don't speak which that is. Google Translate will help though. Let's see what good old Google Translate says. Hopefully it's something nice. I really hope it's something nice. I'm going to do all this work, and if it's like you smell, then oh boy. Oops, that's only a few words. I want the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to see what that actually... Oh, there we go. Okay. It's saying, surely no one understands what I'm saying. Ah, well, that's where you're wrong, because old Google does. So that was actually fun. Good job. Good job. I tip my hat, sir. Suggestions for avant-garde prog. Magma. Oh, wow. Okay. And of course, this is what I get for avant-garde stuff, is words that I can't even pronounce. Universe Zero. I think I've heard of that one. Henry Crow. Okay. I'll definitely have to check that out. Yeah, the Haken got delayed the second time today until July. That sucks. Yeah, because I know, I was looking up and it said that the release date was June 5th, but then it was coming out on July. So I wonder if they'll still allow it to go virtually? Maybe? So... yeah, because I know people have heard the final product, right? I've already seen reviews about it, and people have talked about it from the industry that have heard it. So, yeah, Grace, I think you're right about the shipping issues. Michael is asking if I'm going to do a worst to best on Primus. Maybe. How many listens do you generally need for an album review? It really depends on the album. Certain albums I have an opinion pretty much right off the get-go. Especially from bands that I really admire and I've gotten into their stuff previously. But others take quite a while. In fact, I'm listening to, like, the two that I did for this week. Those ones, like the Caligula's Horse, I had to at least put in 12 listens to get a really good, firm review out for that one, and same with the Chronicles, the Forest. That one I needed another one. So yeah, it's anywhere between. I wouldn't feel comfortable reviewing anything without at least 5 to 10 listens, and I believe anything after like 20 listens, I'm not going to get anything out of it. And I honestly haven't done reviews for albums that I haven't gotten enough to say after about the 20th listen. And that's where I think the new segment of Quarter Notes is going to come in handy, because even after that point, I'll still be able to talk a little bit about it, because at least I can spend a minute talking about it. Scott's saying, if I haven't, I need to listen to Fishman's Long Season 35-minute track that blends progressive pop, dream pop. Ooh, I'll have to try it. Let's see here. If you want more stuff from Italy, ooh, I do. We'll check those out. Emmanuel, thank you so much, man. That's great. Greetings from Mexico. Hello from Canada. Hello from Canada. Very, very glad you can join us today. Yeah, and Serbian, Caligula's Horse really surprised me. I enjoyed their last album, but did not as much as this one. I'm really digging this one. I would be surprised if it doesn't make the top 10 for me. Yeah, but there's a lot of good music coming, so I can't necessarily say it's going to be in the top 5, but it's definitely going to be in the top 10. Oh, more people are talking. Let's see here. Avant-garde is often divided into two scenes, the Zool and Rio, rock in opposition. Zool, Magma being more of a fusion, Rio being more of a chamber music. Okay, so I thought so, because I knew that Zool was its own subgenre, and Rio being another one. So that's good to know. Thank you so much for clarifying that. I learned something new. Yeah, and William being totally down for some Rio. Yeah, that's great. Is it Rio or is it RIO? Because I know some acronyms you're not really actually supposed to pronounce. So that'll be good. Yeah, I still haven't gotten around, Serbian, to listen to the new Canatonia. I know I'm supposed to listen to the new Canatonia and the new Nightwish album. I just haven't gotten around to either of them. So hopefully I'll be able to get to the new Catatonia now that I've got a little bit more free time on my hands. So, yeah. Let's see here. The new Caligula's Horse was fine, but it never really hit me as much as the 2 albums before that. That's fair. Like, this last one was definitely a experiment and a change-up, for sure. So I can see why people wouldn't necessarily connect with it who were fans of their earlier stuff, because in this album they concentrate a little bit more on harmonizations and atmosphere, and if that's... I also find like a lot of bands are doing that nowadays. Like the last 2 Leprous albums have been very atmospheric and very like subtle, and I haven't really been enjoying that one as much, but for some reason the new Caligula's Horse did something for me. So yeah, I could see where you're coming from in that one. Matt Tucker is saying that not a question, but you like the quarter notes section. Makes me just make sure that one of them is an older release that you may have missed, not a classic one. Frequency would be a good example. That's a good point. I can do that. Yeah, that's a great. Thank you, Matt Tuck. Yeah, because IQ's Frequency was brilliant. I really think that's a really strong album from IQ. So yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about it, because I know that I threw in Keen's album from my first one because it was one from last year that I didn't get a chance to review. So maybe I'll do that. Jay Morris, the review guy. Hi, I'm not sure if you've ever seen me around the YouTube sphere, but a big admirer of your content, super big fan, longtime admirer. Thank you so much, man. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Best of luck on your own YouTube channel. I'll check it out if I can remember. I'm actually going to... Oh, I can't highlight that. Yeah, I'm going to try to check that out as much as I can. Autumn's the best track, don't at me. I don't know what that's from. Nightwish's album is freaking on fire. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that Nightwish was really, really good. So I'm really doing my best. So, oh, there we go. Come on, there we go. Excuse me. Which albums are way longer than they should have been? Oh, there's a lot. These past, 5 years? This whole decade is full of albums that are way too long. And honestly, that's one of the biggest knocks against albums that I've been giving out so much. Like, so much so. Because of the length. I think they're way too long. I think Steven Wilson even said, like, he's come out with a few long albums, but even he's like, no album should really be past 50 minutes unless there's like a really strong case for it. And I would honestly agree to that. I would even go so far as to say 45 minutes. Again, unless there's a really good case for it. So yeah, I think there's a lot of albums that are way longer than they should have been. I need to go back and listen to Bitches Brew. I'm much more of a Blue, his songs in Blue, from Miles Davis. So yeah, that Moon Safari is really good, by the way. Glad you reviewed it, Matt. That's great. I love that album, and I'm so glad I'm turning people onto it. I think I might go back and review Doorway to Summer, their first album, because that one is just as good. Serbian is saying that Rise Radiant feels like Congregation 2 from Leprous. Would have loved if Leprous kept in that direction. I agree. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the new direction that they're in, but I also understand you gotta follow where your heart is, right? So Autumn was a really good track from them. I think it's a tie for me between Autumn and Salt, which one I really liked off of the new Caligula's Horse album. Both are really, really good. Yeah. But yeah, Autumn was definitely like in the top works for sure. Prime Reviews is saying, how am I? I've been better. This week hasn't been great, but doing better. Glad I can hang out with you guys. So, yeah, I'm probably going to call this closed in probably another 10 minutes or so. I just wanted this to be like a really quick 45, 50-minute thing, and then kind of head on out. Just wanted to pop in and say hi and thank you to those new patrons that I've gotten, which William, I will add you to this for sure. I haven't even seen how many people are viewing. Okay, I've got 17 people here. Wonderful. Let's see here. Have I ever heard of the band? Oh, there's one. Metallica's Hardwired is way too long. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of their better albums from their later years, but yeah. Have I ever heard of the band Carfagen? No, that's a new one for me. Sorry there, Prime. Have I ever heard the new I Am the Manic White album? No, but it does ring a bell. Let's see here. JC is saying, perhaps this seems somewhat of maybe off topic, but I noticed you're both subscribed to ContraPoints and Philosophy Tube, and I just have to say you have excellent taste in music essayists. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're two of my favorite YouTubers. I have 3 YouTube channels. This is the only one that I upload anything with. The other 2 are more, one's more of like a personal account, and another one's just for like, if I want to search videos, but I don't want to screw up the algorithm in my other 2, I use that one. But I'll watch ContraPoints and Philosophy Tube on both of those. And, you know, I've taken a lot of influence from them in my own kind of, because I tried to do, like once a year, I like to do one essay. And I really wanted to emulate kind of their style, but not really. I'm nowhere near as talented as those 2. But yeah, I'm glad that we have similar tastes in that. Everybody should check them out because they do fantastic work. Will you rank Symphony X? That's a good suggestion. I never thought about doing them. Yeah, maybe one year. Yeah. It has become much easier to make a long album since you don't have the limitations of vinyl, so we are getting longer albums. Yeah, like in the 90s, albums were getting ridiculously long because now you could fill up like 90 minutes, which I think is just way too long. So, I reviewed a Carfagen recently? Did I? Huh. I might have missed that. Wow. Birds of Passion recently, I thought. No, that doesn't quite ring a bell. Definitely recommended them. They are a symphonic prog band from the Ukraine. Carfagen. Well, now you've got me curious, because if I did... I mean, I'll know it if I ever see one of their albums, so let me just have a quick search for them. Carfagen. Oopsies. Oh, what's going on? Come on. Car. Oh, it's saying that I'm offline. Weird. Maybe because I'm using so much bandwidth on this. That really sucks. Let's try this again. Car. Oh, getting a little bit further this time. Carfagen. Okay, let's see what we got. I'll know when I see this. Artist. So what album should I look at for them if I were to do so? Message from Afar, First Contact, Birds of Passion. Oh. You know, I think I had like listened to this. Like not quite listened to it, but I think I wrote it down as being something that I needed to check up on. Birds of Passion. Yeah, this looks familiar. Ooh, there's 4 songs and it's 57 minutes. I am downloading that so I can listen to it later. Okay. Oh, you're in the Netherlands. Okay, well, thank you so much, JC. Thank you for coming out. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you so far. Let's see here. No, I do not speak Spanish. I'm so sorry. I think that's what you're asking. Felix is asking if I've come to terms with Abacab being a good album yet. No. I will admit, and I'll go on the record, I will admit, I am starting to see the appeal, but it's still my least favorite Genesis album. Because when Genesis was uploading their concerts, with like the Three Sides Live and the Mama tour and the Invisible Touch tour, and all those, they were playing quite a bit of material from the Abacab album, but I can't say that it is good enough for me to adequately say that it's a good album, at least in my mind. Like, I can see the appeal. You could review them. Are you speaking, Gray? Are you speaking about your comment on Miles Davis, or are you talking about Kaffigan or something else? This year is... Oh, I think you were talking about that. The anniversary for Lift Your Skinny Fists by Godspeed and Kid A by Radiohead. Ooh, that's a good point. I love both of those albums, so maybe I will. No need to talk about those, because now I know what you're talking about. Speaking of Genesis, Duke is really an underrated album. Yeah. I mean, Duke is a very interesting album because it's caught between their two ideologies of being a very progressive album, like a progressive rock album, and being a very poppy album. So for anybody that loves their poppy stuff, they find it too progressive, and anybody that loves the progressive stuff finds it too poppy. I really, really do enjoy it. I like it a lot more now than when I was a teenager, because I was kind of in the, it's too poppy, it has Turn It On Again, and it has Misunderstanding, and those aren't prog. Yeah, I think it might be, I mean, you know where it is if you've watched my worst to best. I still think that they probably should have really stuck the landing, in terms of keeping the Duke suite its own separate thing, you know, like having that as one side song, and then having all the singles being on the other side. So yeah. I recommend Birds of Passage, Echoes from Within Dragon Island, or Solidarity, Sandpaper Journey. However, the songs outside of Birds of Passage Part 1 or 2 are bonus tracks. Oh, good to know. Yeah, because it looks like Birds of Passage Part 1 and 2. Huh. Well, that would probably make up the album then. That's good. I'll have to check that out. What's your opinion about the I'm the Manic Whale? Haven't listened to it yet, so yeah, let's see here, let me cue that up. I'm gonna save that one. Okay, so I'm just adding this to my recently played list to know that I want to like listen to it. And what's the other one? The Manic Whale. The Manic... Oh, not Nanic. Manic Whale. Just so I can... any bands in Spanish that I would recommend? I don't know any. I'm so sorry, bud. It's like Big Big Train and Neil Morse. Cool. All right. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's weird. I thought there would be like a brand new album, but it looks like there's just Gathering Waters and Everything Beautiful in Time. I'll have a listen. Just going to add it to my listening queue. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, let's go back to some fresh air. As it plays through that one. Come on, there we go. Because, yeah, I'm going to finish this up. We've got about 8 minutes left, so let me know how everybody's doing, how everybody's going. As I mentioned at the beginning, it's been a little bit of a tough time for me. Recently, recently was let go from the job that I currently had. So yeah, this would be a great time if you haven't already, if you want to support me on Patreon. I have a feeling I'll probably be pushing that a little bit more throughout my videos. And I'll actually include my Patreon's names at the end of my videos from this point forward. I think that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to play around with that. I don't know the next time I'm going to be able to actually sit down and film anything. So yeah, if you feel like now is a good time for it's a good time to donate, now would be a great time. And I really do appreciate, because right when I made the call out this morning or yesterday evening, I can't remember which, I immediately had some fantastic responses. William being one that I forgot to add here, but also Grace, Robert, Brett, and Ditter immediately went to the call, so I have to thank them really, really, like 1,000 times. Thank you. And I want to thank everybody as well for donating to me throughout the years. Matthew, Aiden, Andreas, Isaac, Anthony, Rick, Kevin, Ted, Bryson, Hemulin, Chris, H, Joggin Chum, GRV, Rush 2112, Joseph, Charles, Brian, Mark, Brian, Jeffrey, Axel, Jeff, Joseph, Travis, Calvin, Tomas, Mark, T-Dog, Austin Brown, Depanjan, and Tomas. Yeah, I really want to extend my thanks to all of you. And I want to actually end with this question from Prime Reviews, because it's not a difficult question for me to answer. I've known this answer since I was 15 years old, because this album still continues to be my favorite album of all time. It's what got me into progressive rock. Yeah, it's Selling England by the Pound from Genesis. It's my all-time favorite album. Probably going to be listening to it a little bit more next couple of days. So, yeah. And Grace, thank you so much for your support. It sucks being made redundant. It really does. So hopefully you've found your feet. I hope to find mine soon. And in the meantime, we'll just kind of figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay. I think I'm going to end it there before I get too emotional. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. This has been a really, really good time. I know I needed it. I'll do another live stream on Saturday, and I hope to have the video camera figured out by then. But until then, have a great evening. If it's evening where you are, it's evening where I am. Take care of yourselves, and continue to love yourself and love each other. Yeah. Until the next one, notes out.